The 16-bit era pushed pixel art to levels that still impress today. These still look visually stunning in 2026. From hand-drawn artistry to technical wizardry that defied hardware limits, these titles proved that constraint breeds creativity. The pixel art here is so detailed that people still debate how the Genesis handled it. Forests, medieval villages, underground lava tubes. Every environment features individual leaves, grass patterns, and architectural details that feel hand-painted rather than pixelated. The lack of dithering gives everything this clean, vibrant look rare for Genesis games. Scaling, rotation, transparency effects, techniques the hardware supposedly couldn't manage, appear constantly. Multi-jointed bosses move, with articulated animation rivaling Gunstar heroes. The whole game looks like it belongs on more powerful hardware. It's extra remarkable because it's largely the work of one artist. Nyborg's attention to environmental detail creates this storybook quality where you want to explore just to see what beautiful landscape appears next. The colorful, cartoon-like aesthetic predates Rayman by a year, but achieves similar visual charm. That being said, the gameplay leaves a lot of room for improvement. Controls feel sluggish, momentum builds awkwardly, and platforming demands precision the physics don't support. But visually, Flink remains one of the most gorgeous Genesis games ever made, proving technical mastery of pixel art can transcend hardware. Game Freak built this Mega Drive exclusive as a technical showcase. The sprite work, animation fluidity, and visual effects demonstrate what developers could achieve when they understood the hardware deeply. Holzman's movement animations are spectacularly smooth. The electric transformations, dash attacks, and combo animations flow with fluidity rare for Genesis games. The way he transforms into electricity and zips along power lines creates visual spectacle that makes traversal as satisfying as combat. Stage design uses vibrant color palettes that avoid the Genesis look of muddy browns and dark blues. Bright neons, varied environments, and creative use of the limited palette make everything pop visually. The parallax, scrolling, and background details create depth despite 2D constraints. Boss battles feature creatively designed enemies with attack patterns that layer projectiles and environmental hazards. The visual feedback, explosions, electric effects, screen flashes, enhances impact without becoming overwhelming. Game Freak's attention to animation detail is special. Every movement feels weighted correctly, attacks have satisfying visual punch, and transformations happen seamlessly. The technical execution proves the Mega Drive could deliver fluid action when developers prioritized animation quality. The Japan-exclusive release means many missed it, but Pulseman remains a visual showcase of what focused development could achieve on Genesis hardware. SNK's Neo Geo Fighter is arguably the most beautiful 2D fighting game ever made. The visual aesthetic draws from late Edo period Japan, with meticulous historical detail in characters, stages, and animations. Character sprites are massive, fluidly animated, and packed with personality. Attack animations flow naturally. Special moves trigger with particle effects that enhance rather than obscure, and idle animations give everyone distinct mannerisms. The attention to clothing physics, weapon trails, and impact effects creates visual cohesion. Stage backgrounds are works of art. Cherry blossoms falling at Haomaru's stage, rain creating puddle reflections, burning buildings with dynamic lighting. Every location feels alive with parallax layers and animated environmental details. The color palettes emphasize naturalistic tones rather than garish neons, giving everything this painterly quality. The commitment to aesthetic consistency makes it timeless. Everything from UI design to victory screens maintains the historical Japanese art style. Combined with smooth animation and detailed sprite work, it creates this cohesive visual experience few fighters achieve. The Neo Geo hardware allowed SNK to push sprite sizes and animation frames beyond what other consoles managed. The Last Blade takes full advantage, creating fighting game visuals that still look gorgeous compared to modern pixel art attempts. Success created something that shouldn't exist on Mega Drive: a fully 3D rail shooter with sprite-based characters that maintains playable frame rates while looking spectacular. The pseudo 3D effect creates this unique visual style. Environments rotate and scale as you fly through them, creating genuine sense of speed and depth. Combined with vibrant colors and creative stage designs, every level feels visually distinct. The technical achievement here is remarkable. The Mega Drive wasn't built for 3D, yet Panorama Cotton renders scaling, rotating environments while maintaining sprite-based characters and enemies in the foreground. The color usage is exceptionally vibrant, avoiding the Genesis's typical palette limitations. Boss battles feature creative designs that use the 3D space cleverly. Enemies appear from various depths. Attack patterns utilize the perspective, and destruction sequences maintain visual coherence despite technical complexity. It's impressive how it maintains performance. Most attempts at 3D on Genesis resulted in choppy frame rates or simplified visuals. It balances ambition with playability, creating something that looks impressive and plays smoothly. The Japan exclusive release and high rarity mean few experienced it. But for those who have, it represents the Mega Drive pushed into territory developers rarely explored, proof that creativity and technical knowledge could overcome hardware limitations. Treasure built this as a technical showcase for what Mega Drive could accomplish in pure visual chaos. Every screen explodes with activity, massive sprites, particle effects, screen-filling bosses, and transformations that push the hardware beyond reasonable limits. The boss rush structure means you're constantly fighting enemies that dominate the screen. These aren't just big sprites. They're detailed, multi-jointed creations with attack patterns that fill every pixel with projectiles, explosions, and transformations. Watching bosses morph between forms while maintaining stable frame rates feels impossible. Character animations are spectacularly fluid. The protagonist's transformations between 6 different forms happen instantly, each with unique attack animations and movement styles. Enemies telegraph attacks with visual clarity despite the chaos, and the color palette, vibrant neons against dark backgrounds, makes everything pop. It separates itself from other Treasure games through the relentless visual intensity. There's no downtime, no exploration sections to rest your eyes. Every moment is boss fight spectacle with particle effects layering over detailed sprite work. It's exhausting and exhilarating simultaneously. Some find the visual overload overwhelming, which is fair criticism. But as a demonstration of Mega Drive's capabilities when pushed by developers who understood the hardware intimately, Alien Soldier remains visually stunning even when compared to modern pixel art revivals. Quintet's action RPG for SNES pushed the console's visual capabilities through environmental variety and atmospheric design. You're literally rebuilding the world from scratch, watching continents emerge, civilizations develop, and landscapes transform based on your actions. The day-night cycle affects how environments look and feel. Towns glow warmly at night with lamplight. Forests become shadowy and mysterious. Snow-covered regions sparkle under moonlight. The visual evolution as the world progresses from barren wasteland to thriving civilization creates this sense of tangible impact. Sprite work is exceptionally detailed. Character animations are fluid, enemies have distinct designs, and boss battles feature massive creatures that fill screens without slowdown. The Mode 7 effects during transformations and special attacks add visual spectacle without feeling gimmicky. What I love most about Terranigma's presentation is how it uses color and lighting to convey mood. The underworld feels genuinely oppressive with dark palettes and claustrophobic spaces. The The surface world blooms with vibrant colors as life returns. That visual storytelling enhances the narrative organically. The game never saw a North American release, which is criminal considering how polished everything looks. Even today, the pixel art holds up beautifully, and the environmental variety keeps exploration visually engaging throughout the entire journey. This obscure Super Famicom shooter from Manfred Trends is often called the most visually impressive game on SNES. The sprite work, parallax scrolling, and Mode 7 effects combine into something that feels like it shouldn't run on the hardware. The multi-directional scrolling switches seamlessly between horizontal, vertical, and Mode 7 perspective shifts. One moment you're flying through asteroid fields with multiple parallax layers. Next you're racing along Mode 7 highways, then shifting to on-foot run-and-gun sections. The visual variety never stops. Boss designs are massive and intricately detailed, screen-filling mechanical monstrosities with rotating parts, transforming attack patterns and destruction sequences that layer particle effects without destroying frame rates. The color palettes, deep space blacks contrasted with vibrant neon projectiles, create visual spectacle constantly. It feels so special because of the technical ambition. Most SNES shooters picked a visual style and stuck with it. Rendering Ranger throws everything at you simultaneously: scaling, rotation, parallax, sprite layering, and maintains performance despite hardware screaming. The rarity contributes to its legendary status. Original carts fetch ridiculous prices because so few exist, but anyone who's seen it running understands why. This is SNES pushed to absolute limits by someone who knew exactly how to exploit every trick the hardware allowed. This Super Famicom exclusive from Polestar features some of the most beautiful sprite work and color usage on SNES. Every environment feels hand-painted with vibrant palettes that make exploration visually delightful. The protagonist animations are incredibly fluid. Attack combos flow smoothly, jumping and movement feel weighty but responsive, and special abilities trigger with visual flair that makes combat satisfying. Enemy designs range from cute to creatively bizarre, all rendered with detailed sprite work. What stands out? The environmental variety and detail. Colorful forests with layered parallax, underwater sections with flowing seaweed and light filtering effects, castles with intricate architectural details. Every location has distinct visual identity. The game uses SNES color capabilities beautifully without oversaturating or clashing. Boss battles showcase creative designs that feel mechanically interesting and visually impressive. Multi-phase encounters introduce new attack patterns with clear visual telegraphing despite the action intensity. It is brilliant in maintaining visual clarity during chaotic moments. Despite colorful environments and busy combat, you never lose track of what's happening. That balance between spectacle and readability is difficult to achieve. The game's obscurity is unfortunate. Limited release and high prices mean few people experienced it. But for those who have, Magical Pop-In represents SNES platforming at its visual peak, proof that strong art direction matters more than technical tricks. Hudson Soft's PC Engine shooter, which is also known as Soldier Blade Special, pushes the hardware into visual territory most shooters avoided. The sprite work, parallax scrolling, and creative use of limited colors create something that looks far more advanced than the hardware suggests. The multi-layered parallax backgrounds create genuine depth. Foreground elements, mid-ground structures, distant landscapes, all scroll at different speeds with detailed pixel art throughout. Combined with smooth character animations and enemy variety, every stage has distinct visual personality. Boss encounters showcase creative mechanical designs. Screen-filling machines with rotating parts, transforming attack patterns, and destruction sequences that layer explosions and debris without performance drops. The The color usage squeezes maximum vibrancy from PC Engine's palette. I really appreciated how it maintains visual clarity despite intensity. Projectile patterns are readable, enemy positions stay clear, and your ship never gets lost in chaos. That balance lets you appreciate the artistry while playing rather than just watching replays. The game's Japan-only release limited exposure, but it represents PC Engine shooters at their visual peak. Hudson Soft understood the hardware intimately and created something that still impresses anyone who sees it running. Capcom's dark fantasy platformer on SNES features gothic art direction that remains visually striking. The oppressive atmosphere, detailed sprite work, and creative monster designs create this macabre world that feels unique among 16-bit games. The protagonist's transformations add visual variety. Each gargoyle form has distinct animations, attack effects, and movement styles. Watching seamless transitions between ground-based combat and aerial maneuvering demonstrates Capcom's animation expertise. Environmental design uses dark palettes effectively. Gothic castles, hellish landscapes, twisted forests, all rendered with layered backgrounds and atmospheric lighting effects. The game creates genuine mood through color and composition rather than just visual spectacle. Boss encounters showcase grotesque, creative designs. Multi-phase battles introduce transformations with clear visual progression. The sprite work on these massive enemies shows detail that makes each encounter memorable visually beyond just mechanical challenges. I love the commitment to dark fantasy aesthetic. Everything from UI to enemy designs maintains cohesive visual identity. Combined with smooth animation and creative use of SNES capabilities, it creates atmosphere few platformers attempted. Demon's Crest didn't sell well originally, but it's gained appreciation for its visual artistry. The Gothic presentation remains timeless, proving that strong art direction ages better than technical gimmicks.